monastery-esque in the fact that it concentrated also on the education, concentrated on the spirit and the soul almost as much as it did concentrate on the development of intellect. But because there was no sort of, I don't know if God was just a catchphrase that was used from time to time, or it was just sort of this
God
idea.
is our strength was right across the top of it,
Right,
of our
but
logo.
But you
slogan.
didn't really debate the legitimacy of God or who God was. That wasn't so much important. It just was there, and it was like what was moving you.
Right. Rather than debate the existence of God, it was more, we have these opportunities to be better.
Right, but I guess what I'm saying is that it's like it was almost religious, and it was religious with being that sort of. It was religious without invoking God, because you didn't have the Bible. Everybody just said God, and they made up their own.
Well, because we had Hindus there, we had
That's what I'm
people
saying.
from Arab, you know.
Yeah,
So
it was.
you know, so we made it possible for anyone to go on a weekly basis to whatever church they wanted to, but the main thing was we're going to not just focus on the academics. We're going to be building the body as well.
And it was almost something that there was something bigger at us at work here, and you were tapping into whatever was bigger at work there.
Rather than lecture us, there would just be, there was no dogma. It was just, you could tell which people on the staff were moved in some way, because they would mention it when they got up on stage.
It's sort of like a UU church in a way, in a sense.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. It's very UU.
It's very UU.
Yeah, because
but much cooler.
well, it's the 1970s.
You don't know my people, so like,
okay.
I mean,
All right.
I say that.
All right.
It's
All
a
right.
good thing for you guys.
It's a good thing for us. Okay. So, what Will brought to the school was a sense that I'm going to. I think that this is sort of what I really got from Will. I'm going to. Yes, it's a British school in a European context, and some staff members remained very British and didn't interact with the town. Will made the effort to interact with the town, learn the language. He learned some French. This is a French-speaking part of Switzerland. And he learned how to be a timer, so he could organize Swiss races. I mean, he became part of the culture. And they said, how is it possible? You know, they were fascinated that some foreigner could come into their village and be part of, because it's a hassle running races. You know, you have to set up the route, and there's these timing standards, and it's a complicated way back then to measure and record everything in the sort of Swiss way. I don't know. In some ways they made it difficult so that people wouldn't want to be involved, and Will dug right in and became part of it.
You have to know the Swiss to talk about the Swiss.
Okay.
Like we
All
do.
right.
You're right. I know.
Right.
All right.
So this is a long way of saying that Will was building the skill set to open up the sailing school, because on the holidays we always had a month between terms. So it seemed like a full-time school, because you went for 3 months, you got a month off. 3 months, month off. 3 months,
Right.
month off. And so we never really had a summer vacation, so to speak, because it was just like the same other. People were flying so far, they couldn't just go away for 2 weeks. They went away for a month.
Right.
And so you really had the sense that, okay, we're preparing for British tests. Now they do the IB. They switched over to IB. But, so there is a high standard. We didn't necessarily do great as a school. And I always thought that was cool. It's like, we got something else going on here.
What do you mean you guys didn't do great?
Well, I mean, we didn't have people going to Oxford and Cambridge or, the Ivy League schools.
And
Based on the amount of money that was being spent?
I know, and your parents were okay with that?
Well, because when you met John Corlett, you said, this is the kind of education, this is real education. It's not schooling. This is what Mark Twain was talking about. I never let schooling get in the way of my education. And so there was a sense that at no point would bureaucracy get in the way of the kids' growth.
And how did your parents find out about this place?